If you could wish for any superpower, what would it be? The ability to fly, the ability to leap tall buildings in a single bound. How about the ability to spread peace? The ability to transform every difficult conversation, whether it's with your parents, your teenager, your boss at work, your in-laws at Thanksgiving, into a positive heart-to-heart interaction. You don't need to wish for that superpower. You already have it. You just need to practice. Hi, this is Carolyn Pitts with Intend Well. I'm an ACE certified health coach and intuitive healer. Every week I create videos to help you be your best self. You can follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, but the best way to keep up with my content is to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter at intendwell.us. Every Friday, I'll send you links to all the content I posted for the week, plus a bonus extra for my email subscribers. Our theme for April is coherence. I taught you a technique you can use to create coherence between the hemispheres of your brain. We talked about coherence between your goals and your energy focus. Last week, we talked about heart rate variability, HRV, and how strengthening your heart coherence can help you improve your health. In this video, we're going to continue our conversation around heart rate variability, or HRV, in the context of social coherence. Last week, we learned that our heart uses electromagnetic signals to communicate with the brain and with every cell in our bodies. Well, that magnetic signal is not limited to our physical body. We broadcast magnetic signals beyond our physical body, like a little radio station. We're always broadcasting to the people around us. Now, that shouldn't be a surprise to you. We have expressions for that. You could cut the tension in the room with a knife, or she lit up the whole room when she walked in. Using a magnetometer, scientists have been able to measure magnetic signals between people up to 6 feet away from each other. And that's not to say that that's the limit. It's just to say that's how far we've measured it. Now here's where HRV comes into play. Scientists have proven that a person in heart coherent state can affect the hearts of people around them. In one experiment, the scientists put 4 people in a room. 3 of those people had been trained to activate heart coherence using a biofeedback device like what I showed you in the last video. At a signal from the researcher, those 3 people went into a coherent state. The 4th person in the room, who had no idea what was going on, their heart went into coherence as well. That experiment was repeated 148 times. Think about that for a second. What an amazing superpower to have. If you've seen my video on the biology of stress, you know that when we're stressed, it diminishes our brain's ability to think clearly. But just think, if every time you were in a difficult interaction, you could breathe yourself into coherence, broadcast that coherence to the hearts around you, and now everyone is better able to tap into their cognitive abilities. That seems like a superpower that's worth taking 15 minutes a day to cultivate. Have you ever found yourself in a difference of opinion with someone else, and you give them all the facts and all the figures, and they stubbornly refuse to see things your way? Well, perhaps you are talking to a brain on standby. Maybe forget all the statistics and try communicating from the heart instead. So what does heart-focused communication look like? Well, I have a few tips. First off, breathe yourself into coherence. Since you've been practicing with your biofeedback device, you can put yourself into a coherent state and broadcast that coherence to the hearts around you. Second, listen with your heart. Pay attention not just to the words that they're using, but the emotions that they are expressing. Step back and watch what's happening almost as if you were watching a movie. Observe how they're expressing themselves and silently observe your own reactions to what they're saying. If you catch yourself thinking about what you're going to say as soon as they stop talking, you're not listening. I wish I had a dime for every time I sat in a meeting and listened to two people go at each other when neither one of them was listening enough to the other one to realize that they were saying the same thing, just in different ways. Third, make sure they feel heard. When they stop talking, repeat back to them, paraphrase what you understood them to say. Say, if I heard you correctly, what you're saying is, and succinctly summarize what you understood. And keep at it until they agree that you got it. And when you got it, thank them for helping you to understand their perspective. 4, look for common ground. There's bound to be some things that you agree on. Say back to them, it feels to me like we both agree that, and share with them where you can find agreement. And finally, consider whether you really need them to agree with you right now. Why do you need them to see things your way in the moment? And is potential damage to the relationship worth continuing to push? I'll tell you from experience, sometimes when you're willing to walk away, you come back later and find out that things have shifted a little bit. Feeling heard may make them receptive to listening to what you have to say, but if they're not in that place right now, give them some time. They may be in that place later. And if they never are, maybe you can be okay with that. The process is simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. How many superheroes mastered their superpower on their first try? Peter Parker spun a web and swang right into the side. Peter Parker spun a web and went swinging right into the side of a building, but he persisted. And with practice, it gets easier. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful week. And remember, the best things in life are intentional.